All right, guess everybody is here. Hi, Charmi. Let us begin our session. So today is a special session. And for that, first of all, let me give you a brief introduction about what today's session is all about. So I was just reading newspaper just day before yesterday, and there I read something which was really inspiring. And I thought, why not connect with that person and bring that person here so that even you all will be inspired, and there's so much to learn from her. So without any further ado, it was really nice of her when I reached out to her on Facebook and I messaged her and she replied back. And when I said that I'm a storyteller and I want that all of you should hear her story, she was very happy and she said that of course. And then we had a small conversation. She said everything about her, and here we are together to present her story. So first of all, please put your hands together for Dhruvi.
Hello. Thank you, everyone.
So you must be thinking what this young lady will inspire us. Yes, she's too young, nahi? Looks like आप लोगों से थोड़ी सी बड़ी है ना? ऐसा लग रहा है ना? She looks like you all only, right? Mahi, Dhyana, she looks like you. Yes, but there is something very inspiring about her. So how it is, let me begin and let me share her story with all of you. So, Dhruvi, can you please just mute yourself for a while?
Yes.
All right, okay. So let us go back to 28 years back. 28 years back in Ahmedabad, in a big joint family, there was a baby girl born. And when this baby girl was born, oh my God, everybody celebrated. You know why? What was special about this baby girl? Because in that big, huge joint family, there were only boys till that time. So they all loved this baby girl, and she was named Dhruvi. And Dhruvi, when she was born, everybody became so overprotective about her. They pampered her, they loved her. They never let her alone even for a moment. And when Dhruvi fell sick, just as all kids do when they are quite young, maybe 6-7 months old, a year old, they got so worried. And they finally decided, oh my God, we are just going to take utmost care of Dhruvi. And Dhruvi became the ladli of the whole family. Her family, her mama's family, her chacha's family, everybody. Dhruvi was growing up, all pampered and cared by all of them. So let us see how she looked when she was young. Oh, she looked adorable. Yes, the way she looks right now. And when she was growing up, she did not do all those adventurous things which kids generally do. Ki yahan gire, wahan gire. No, everybody was so overprotective about her. She sat and she used to read. She used to write. And she used to play her favorite game, that was playing teacher. And let me tell you, she was so good at it that everybody said, Dhruvi, tum to badi hoke teacher hi banne wali ho. And everybody is going to love the way you teach. And yes, when she grew up, she actually took her childhood passion, teaching, as her profession. She did her BBA and her master's in French. She started teaching. Though even after being grown up in a joint family and pampered so well, Dhruvi had all the things which need to be a compassionate human being. She was very positive person. She is a very positive person, a very well organized, Right from her childhood, she always wanted everything perfectly at her places. Very compassionate and a very caring human being. When she was almost of her marriageable age, family looked for the perfect partner. And on February 20th, 2018, she got married. So here she is as a beautiful bride with her husband, Ritesh. And she continued to teach. She was teaching and she was taking tuitions, and all the kids, they loved her. Most of the kids, imagine when they used to come, they were in maybe senior KG or grade 1, and they are in grade 8 now. So that is how they love Dhruvi as their teacher. Now everything was going on fine. She was almost in the hands of her parents and taken care by the in-laws and everybody around. She did not even had a scar on her body. She was so very carefully taken care of. It was almost 11 months had passed, and it was her best friend Rutwa's wedding. And of course, Dhruvi had to go, though she wasn't well that day, but she was all excited. How can she not be there at her best friend's wedding? And the wedding took place just in Sanand near Ahmedabad, and it was a Marwari wedding which got over at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then they were returning back. It was a very foggy day, early morning on 23rd January 2019. And Dhruvi was sitting in the car with crossed legs, and her husband was driving the car. And she was almost in sleep when she felt a huge jerk just near the YMCA club, and bang! And she just woke up with a shock. And immediately, as an instinct, she checked. She looked at her husband and she said, "Is everything all right?" And just after the moment, when she looked at herself, she realized that from somewhere, right from the bonnet, there was a huge rod which had pierced the bonnet, and then her leg, and then her thighs, her calves, and right till her ribs and lungs. She was shocked to see all this. So was everybody else around there. People started gathering, and just like most of the people we see, that they started clicking photos. Some of them wanted to help, some of them wanted just to take videos and photos, and some of them also started suggesting a lot of things. She still remembers that most of the things were really horrible, which people started suggesting. Somebody said, "Oh, why don't you take the car in the reverse and the rod is going to come out just like that?" There were all sorts of things going on, and she was bleeding profusely. Few people tried to help. They also called 108, but even 108 was unable to help. 2 hours passed in this, thinking about how they can remove Dhruvi from car, because the same rod was connecting car and Dhruvi both, and they had to take Dhruvi out to take her to the hospital. Dhruvi still remembers, amongst all that, there was one Sardarji. She still don't know who he was, but she says that he was definitely an angel who kept an eye, who just kept people away from that rod, that please don't touch, give her that space. And he stood there for whole 2 hours till she needed them. And after 2 hours, when all her family members gathered, her strength, Dhruvi's brother, when he came, he immediately somehow said that, "I remember where the laser machine is. It is here in the Prahlad Nagar fire station, and we can reach out there and let's go." And finally, through that laser machine, she was removed out. They cut the rod and she was removed out from the car. They rushed her to the hospital, and need not to say, but all her family members, including especially her father, was devastated. He almost couldn't understand what is happening. Dhruvi, amongst all these circumstances and in so much of pain, looked at her family, and she knew that she has to gather all the courage. And she became really strong. Even she doesn't believe that how did this happen to her? But she says that the universe has helped her at that time. She really stayed strong, and they rushed her to the hospital. The doctors, when they looked at her, they were shocked. And of course, they said they'll try to do whatever they can, but it looks really risky. And then there were multiple surgeries on her. All that few days were really critical. But Dhruvi, she kept her willpower really strong, and she was cheerful throughout that ordeal as well. Just imagine when I asked her that, how did you manage to be so cheerful? She said that, oh, it was just 1 month for our anniversary. And I was thinking, what will I do on our first anniversary? And on the hospital bed, she was thinking to do something creative. And there she created a clock which had different 12 different things, special moments. And this is how she celebrated her first anniversary in the hospital. Just imagine, in so much of pain and where you don't have hopes, what is going to happen to you, your leg, you still engage your mind so creatively. Hats off to you, Dhruvi, for this. And as time passed, after a month, when everybody said that, Dhruvi, let us be very clear, we don't know whether your leg will be able to save your leg, how things will go on. But she said, things will be fine. And she was just cheerful. She kept her positivity to the best she can. Surgeries after surgeries. And it took her 3 whole years. In those 3 whole years, there were 8 major surgeries. And she survived through all that smilingly. Even on her hospital bed, she was taking tuitions so that she's surrounded by kids with their positive energy and vibes. When we get troubled and when we ask the God that, oh God, why me? She said, all right, I will come out of this. And she did her best. You know what she used to do before every surgery? To prepare herself, to make her feel little better? She used to go and she used to visit the parlor and she used to get her hair washed so that she can be fine, she can feel good even during the operation. Just look at the positive attitude and the cheerfulness which she carries, even at these critical times. And she had all the 8 surgeries. Just look at this, where she's coming out from one of them. And this is how she has been throughout, with her big smile, taking it all and facing everything bravely. And now, after 3 years, to everybody's surprise, it is not a miracle. Of course, the doctors did their best, but it was also the willpower. The way her positive attitude kept her going and her family going. Now she's completely all right, though she's still on rest. And even now she is on the bed rest, but she is with us right now. So this is, just imagine, look at her smiling and giving poses. She's so fond of photographs, let me tell you. And here she is still posing one. And once she recovered, she took her crutches and she even went and climbed the Guru Shikhar at Mount Abu. So look here, this is Dhruvi after her surgeries, and she has climbed up Guru Shikhar. And not just that, when Garba was around, she also played a bit of Garba with all her crutches. Let me share my screen and show that to you. Here she is. My God, from where do you get all this courage, Dhruvi? I'm still surprised. And when I listened to your story, I had goosebumps. And thank you so much for joining us, Dhruvi. And we would like to hear from Dhruvi now. So Dhruvi, please unmute yourself.
Hello. Thank you so much for presenting the whole story so well. Like, you have explained each and every bit of my life, I guess, right from the childhood till now.
You are just so inspiring, Dhruvi, but we just want to ask few questions from you. So first of all, I'm sure there must be some times when you felt like giving up, isn't it? But how did you manage to keep up your positive attitude, Dhruvi?
Actually, there have been very few instances when I felt like giving up. But yeah, there have definitely been some, like when the things were beyond control, beyond not my capabilities, but it was actually beyond control. So at those moments, I always felt like I always had my friends, families, everybody surround, even my doctors. They were very much motivating me, and they were with me throughout. But then there were times when I felt like I cannot take this anymore. Like it's been 3 years, it is still going on that way. So I always, when such thoughts came in my mind, I always felt that what would be the people, I always used to think about the people who mattered to me the most, like my parents, my family, my husband, my relatives, everybody, those who, like, as I'm very close to everybody, I feel like I always used to think about the people who mattered the most and what would their life be without me. They have been with me throughout, like, this whole incident. I always felt that if I take any wrong step or if I think anything, what would their life be? Their life would be completely shattered. So that's what always kept me going. And then I always felt that another thing that I always felt was, what worst could have happened beyond this? Now, if this is the worst that I feel, what worse can ever happen than this? So that's what made me keep going and keep my positive attitude throughout.
And how did you engage yourself in these last 3 years? As you mentioned that, you used to teach kids, and what all things you did, but though you were so limited on the bed.
Yeah. I have been teaching since last 8 to 9 years, right? So teaching is something like I am very much passionate about, and that kept me going. So even on hospital bed, I used to call my students. They used to study on the bed. I was on my hospital, like, we had a setup sort of thing that my bed was actual bed was aside, and then we had my hospital bed just next to it. So as I could not lie down straight or something, I used to just sit like this. So I used to they used to sit on the normal bed, and I used to sit on the hospital bed. I used to teach, and during all those hours when I used to teach, I used to feel that it took me to another world, away from all this pain or the negative feelings that I got, that why all this is happening or what is going on, the injections, the things. It always took me away. So I always followed my passion. And when you are following your passion, you get completely blind towards it. So that really helped me. It helped me recover, and it helped me heal well. Like spending time with kids, those positive energies that you get. And then when you see the outcome in their results also, it definitely made me feel more powerful, that now I have to do this, now I have to do this. I remember one time, it was my brother's 10th grade board exam, and he had French as one of the major subjects. It was the final exam during March when this all was going on. So at that time, the just 2 days before exam, I taught him French, like completely the whole syllabus. I taught him, and when the results came in the May, he had scored top in whole Gujarat, like in French language. So when those such result or such outcomes came, I always felt more motivated that no matter what the situation is, I tried to do the best that I could do in that situation. We can always think that, this is, first thing is acceptance that this has happened to me, and this is how the things are now. I cannot change that, but what all things are under my control, what all things I can do. So I always followed my passion, that whatever I love to do, like teaching, as I said, teaching. So it helped me heal well, and it helped me divert my mind really well.
And I'm still amazed. How did you were so cool that you went to take head baths in the parlors. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, actually, whenever I felt stressful, even like not just during the accident phase, but even from before, whenever I felt stressful or low or demotivated, I always either used to dress up and stand in front of mirror and think positive for myself, that look, this how beautiful you are, how life is going on. I used to tell positive things to myself in front of mirror. But then when this incident happened, and even then I used to go to, if there is extreme, I always needed some change, and to get some change, I used to go to the salon, get some hair wash, blow dry, haircut, and it depends on the thing going on in my mind. Those 2 hours at salon were really like stress buster to me. Like, they do the things on your head, and then they give you new change on your face, on your lookout towards yourself. And on those 2 hours, I used to think about what can I do now, what can I do next. This is what I will have to face, be it any negative, be it any down position, be it any situation when I'm really low, or the things that are always demoralizing me or anything. I always used to go think when I won't have anybody around me, right? Apart from the person who dropped me there, or so those 2 hours just would be my me time, and I would just think about the situation, think about the possibilities, and it would help me calm myself and look towards and then when you get a new change, you feel that now see, there is a change on your out front look. Now we have to bring some change inside and think positive, get motivated that way. So I think, yeah, that was a stress buster to me during those times.
Whenever I'm sure you must have felt at least once, that why did this happen with you? Your parents had protected you so much right from you were born till that, even after the marriage, as you mentioned that you were not well, so your parents were there in the wedding just to make sure that to give you that ORH things and to take care of you and all. So when thoughts like this came to your mind, what did you do? How did you still lower those thoughts and keep the spirits high? What did you do at that time?
See, honestly, there have never been such a thought that why this thing happened to me, because I have been a firm believer of destiny, that I believe that whatever is written in your life, in some time or the other, you will have to face it in this life itself, right? But yes, there have been times when initial few 2-3 days during of the accident, I always felt that I had just begun my new life. This accident would take a huge toll on my married life or my career, because I'm like, it was that age that I was going to start my career, or like professionally, or I would be like I have moved to a new phase, like married life. It wasn't even 1 year of our marriage, so settling down phase and all. So I knew it would take a huge toll on this new life. But then again, I always felt that I always, like, as I said, I'm a firm believer of destiny. So I knew that this was ought to happen. So I started counting my blessings, that what all I have, like I felt that this incident happened quite early at my age. If it had happened at my late 40s, 50s, the recovery would have been really slow. Right now, my parents, Ritish's parents, like my whole family were that much fit that they could take care of me. If it would have been in the later stage, I don't know anybody how people would have been with me throughout. Or even the recovery point, even from recovery point of view, I think that being young, the recovery had been faster. If it had been at later stage, it would be really difficult. Right now I have quite less responsibilities as in my later stage of life, like when you have kids or the family, and then if this incident happened, this incident was so the moment I feel that, I had to accept the situation, whatever the situation was there, I accepted the situation, and then I counted what are the blessings in this worst situation. Even in the worst, you can always find something or the other positive. So I always try to count what are the positives I have. Even whenever I'm low, or whenever I'm low, I always feel that when I'm low, I look at the people below me, like I have so much, these people don't have even what I have, right? And whenever I'm feeling quite boosted up and on the top of the world, I look at the people above me and I think, like, this is your next goal, you have to achieve this. So yeah, when I read stories of people, like, who had faced even worse than me, and I had, like, I guess it was third day or fourth day when I was in hospital, and my chachu came and he showed me a video of a person. He had to get his leg amputated, and then even after a lot of sufferings, he tried to climb till the top of Mount Everest. So those things, there's a story of Sudha Chandran and many other stories. Those things helped me recover, helped me that, no, if these people can do, even I can do this. This is the situation. I cannot solve the situation, but at least I can face it. I can, accept it and do whatever is possible. At least I can give my 100% in the therapy or the things which will overall lead to a better outcome.
Right. Wow, this is really, for all of us, we need to remember this, because we all know this, but when it comes to us, then, we start looking at the negative sides more rather than the positive side. So this is something to be learned. And Dhruvi, do you have any kind of specific suggestions for all those who are in any kind of physical distress, because you yourself have been through it since last 3 years? So any tips if you feel that something which would help them? Any tips on this?
For the people who are going through any physical distress or something, I would always say this is happening to your body, not your soul. So keep your spirits like high, and keep that positive out front, that this is the situation now, what next can we do? Like, you are not there's nothing happened to your soul or to your emotional point of view. Like, whatever has happened, it has happened to your body, not to your soul. So always in pain, I feel that nothing is permanent in life. There's nothing permanent in life, and it's just a phase. So it shall pass soon. This too shall pass. So I think, yeah, that thing, that even during like my accident, like right from the day one, whenever I used to talk to doctor, they used to tell me, always check that. Whenever I'm in pain, I used to complain that this is paining me or something. He used to tell, is it better than what it was on the day one? Like, since like it will be 3 years, and always whenever I go and tell him that this is paining or this is happening to me, he always tell me, check your progress from the day one, not with anybody else, that this person has reached to this height or this. Even in life, like we will see many people who are competing with us, and they have reached a certain stage. So instead of that, always check your progress from what you were before. Like, is it painful from day one? Is it like, are you improving from day one or not? That way. And nowadays, if I even complain about my pain, he always say me, talk to me anything apart from pain. I did whatever has happened. So I guess, yeah, that outlook, that comparing yourself from the position you were at, I guess that will help you recover.
Right. And is there anything which you would like to share with our kids, Dhruvi, especially to the kids of 8 to 14 years old? Anything if you want to say specifically to them?
I think this is the age, so I would like to tell that always a habit or a passion for one or two things at least, which will help you take out of this world in any situation, whatever situation, any low or any weak situation comes. And if you do that, or if you follow it, it's not necessarily a habit, but if you might like writing, you might like watching shows, you might like listening to music, or develop one thing for which you are badly passionate about. Like I know my brother is very much passionate about solving Rubik's cube, so he just solves it like, and it's a stress buster for him. So in always develop one passion for which, you know, no matter what weak situation gets, you can always follow that, and that brings you out of it. And another thing, always count on your blessings. We are really blessed. I feel that when we look at the people up, like apart from us, I feel that the people who are not privileged enough than us, always I would feel that count on the blessings. We are really blessed in life. And I think nothing is permanent in life. So whatever low situation you face or anything in life, I think always remember this thing that I have been keep telling myself since I guess I was of your age, that this too shall pass. No matter what, this too shall pass. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dhruvi, for sharing this. And let me tell you, she's been so nice that, when I just called her up and I wanted to know, she just poured out everything, she shared all those details with me. And here, because, there are a lot of kids. So because, that is why I'm not sharing a lot of pictures, which may be disturbing to you all. But let me tell you, the way she has shown her courage, oh my God. Yes.
One thing I would like to tell is like always do such things for which you don't have to regret later. Like, do such activities, do such things. You never know whom you are motivating in what situation. Always feel that some way or the other you might be inspiring somebody, you might be motivating somebody. Like after this incident, when I got a lot of messages, I figured out that there have been so many people whose story, who were told about my story, the way I was told about the person whose story about the one who climbed Mount Everest, about that person's story, the way I was told, even I think my story had inspired a lot of people. So always do such things that, you never know whom you are motivating, or you never know whom you are inspiring in some way or the other. And always live a life without regrets. Like do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. Okay, all our kids, do you want to ask something to Dhruvi? In case if you want to ask her, and if you want to thank her, if you want to encourage her, whatever you wish to. Shashwat, you have something to say? Tell us.
Ma'am, your tattoo has shown a woman which has climbed with ampute legs on Mount Everest. Is she Anurema Sinha?
No, it was one man. I don't recall the name. I'm really sorry, but I forgot the name. Because it was during the starting 2-3 days of the incident. So I had heard about the whole story, that how even in worse situation that, there is the oxygen level gets lower and lower on the top, but still that person tried his best to climb till the top of the Mount Everest with the amputated leg. So I don't remember.
Is also an
amputee. Yes, she's also one of them, Shashwat. Yes, Charmi, you may ask.
Was reading your hobby when you were in the hospital?
Sorry?
Did you love reading during the hospital?
Yes, reading was something that, it's a habit that I had formed since childhood. I used to love reading books, hearing stories, and also I guess even on the hospital bed, rather than looking at screen or looking at the things, I used to read books. Even on my phone, I have books. Even like somebody or the other used to come and give me a book which would help me to read, which I would love to read. Even not just the books like motivational story books or something. Somebody would bring me crossword books, and I used to solve crossword puzzles or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I have a great connection with books. I can say that. that helped me.
Yes. So Anna is asking, how is your leg now?
My leg is quite good now. Right now, I can move around, I can do, but I had my surgery just last month. Last surgery just happened last month. So it will take few more moments and then I might be completely fine.
Okay. And Gianna wants to ask something. Gianna, you can unmute and ask.
Yes, when you climbed that,
The Mount Guru Shikhar.
Guru Shikhar.
yes, so that time your leg was fractured or it was fine?
No, my leg was fine. I had metal implants in leg at that moment when I climbed, but it was the fracture had healed. I could walk normally, I could walk properly, but I had never thought that I would climbed any steep slope or something. And then slowly, there, if you know, in Guru Shikhar there are lots of steps. So I climbed Guru Shikhar. I came down on the same day. I went to Toad Rock. I climbed till the top again, and I came down. So that moment I realized that no, my stamina, my capacity of my leg has improved quite a lot. So yes, I had metal implants, but I could go. Right now, I'm completely fine from there.
Your story is very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Riva, you can ask the question now.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how did you manage to teach the children with that distracting pain?
That's what I tried to convey that I have been very passionate about teaching. So whenever I teach, I don't know, the kids of your age, they have that energy that, when while talking to others, you forget your pain. While talking to my kids, my students, whenever I used to teach, they used to cheer me up always. So I felt that I could forget my pain and I could be out of the zone that I was into.
Okay, I also wish you speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Anyone has any other questions? Dhyana, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask
We
that.
can't see you. Where are you?
I am here, ma'am.
Okay.
Why can't you see me?
Oh, that's okay. There's some film, I think, just a white screen, so I can't see you. But you can ask your question.
Okay. Whenever you took your class, when your students give your energy, like the windmill gives the energy to the electricity, you felt like that somehow?
Yes. Sort of, yes, that, they have that spark. So it used to feel me more motivated and I always wanted to give my 100% into whatever field I am at, be it my recovery phase, be it my teaching, be it everywhere. So I always felt that if I'm teaching my students, they should not suffer because of my injury or because of my situation right now. So I always with the thought that, I want to give my 100%. I guess I tried to give my best and we mutually understood, helped each other out, I guess.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
And let me share. So even few students, those who are not well right now, I'm not mentioning the names, but a few of them, they actually have their high grade fever right now, Dhruvi, but they are here just to hear you. And even from the hospital bed, they are hearing you. So that, I just asked them that it's okay, you can keep your cameras off, but please be there because you'll enjoy and you'll be motivated to listening to her.
I really wish them, the one who is not keeping well right now, I really wish that just think this will pass, you'll be completely fine soon. So just start doing whatever you love to do. Like during that phase, I prepared that watch, and also that helped me divert my mind also, and it was into something more creative that always will recall throughout our life. So do something which interests you, I guess.
Viana, Jia, Krisha, Anna, Mahi, do you want to ask anything else? No? All right. So I guess all of us are already... Aditi, do you want to ask something?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you so much, Dhruvi. for inspiring us.
It was my pleasure as well that to
And all of us, let's give a big hug to Dhruvi, a get well soon hug. So,
thank
so she
you.
can get well really soon and she can inspire many more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dhruvi, and have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
To you too, ma'am.